Today on How I Got Here, I'm sitting down with Aniesia Williams, a strategist, venture architect, and ecosystem builder who understands how power moves and has been really intentional about changing who gets access to it. With over 2 decades in marketing and entrepreneurship, Aniesia has founded and successfully exited a creative agency, led high-impact work across major organizations, and now focuses on building ventures, founders, and pathways to capital through her impact and venture work. But beyond the titles, Aniesia is deeply committed to creating systems that allow underestimated builders to thrive. She's someone who understands both the boardroom and the back end of the hustle. In this conversation, we talk about identity, power, belief, stewardship, and what it really means to move from being the one doing the work to being the one opening doors.
Listen, over 40, you have to be comfortable with being the villain in somebody's story. You're not going to please everybody. So I wanted to be the support that I needed for other folks. And I'm like, if I can stop somebody from having to struggle through that, then let me help. Listen, I build in silence. And when I pop up, people like, literally, because while y'all are still there, Sister Girl is already over here.
This is Aniesia Williams, and this is how she got here. Aniesia Williams, thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate it. You came in with the lob, you came in with the nice beat. I'm here for it. Entering 2026, amazing. This is a new look. You just told me that you're debuting in January, so no one will see this before then. So I appreciate you.
Awesome.
So Aniesia, before we get into titles and exits, I want to start here. When people ask you, what do you do? What do you usually say first, and what do you usually leave out?
I'm a problem solver. I am a professional problem solver. I probably leave out is like all of the other things, like, oh, the title and the this and then that. Like, I am in a place, there is a sense that you get over 40, and I'll be 45 in January.
What? Stop it.
Yes.
Good. You look good. Okay.
But it really, people don't care. People do not care what your title is. They absolutely do care. They care about, can you help me? Can you fix my problem? And what is the return on you fixing my problem? They do not care about anything else. And so that's often what I leave out is like all of the extra stuff that we think makes difference for external validation. But I just lead with, you have a problem. I'm a professional problem solver. Like, let's get down to the tax bracket. So what exactly do you?
What type of problems are you fixing?
Oh God, I'm fixing a lot of things. I'm fixing, this experiential activation does not tell a story, and it needs to tell a story from the time that they walk in the building to the time that they leave. I'm fixing, oh, my board is a mess. They don't even know how to even help us. How do we even, give them the tools that they need to be able to do the things that we need to do? It's, hey, like, we got this new round of funding. Now I need to go from 10 to 25. That's a whole different organization. What does that look like? Help us to build this organization. And we also need to hire, because we don't have no contracts. We don't have no nothing, because it's been friends of them. And I think there is a liability that is there. And if I don't fix this now, it's going to be a problem for me later. So that's like the range of issues and problems that people come to me to fix.
Olivia Pope-esque vibes, the fixer, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm here for it. You've been working for a long time and at a really high level. If we rewind to earlier Aniesia, before all of the access and authority, who were you then, and what were you chasing at that stage of your life?
I thought that I was going to work at Bank of America forever. I thought I was going to be a personal banker forever. Like, you cannot tell me. I had my Series 6, 63, life, health, and all the things, right? So, like, I'm going to work at the bank. The bank, that's their good job. Right? Like, I have made it. I have made it to the bank. Because, you know, like, when we were growing up, that was a thing. Is you either going to be a teacher,
Yep.
you're going to work at the bank, you're going to be a teller at the bank, child. And I was like,
Mhm.
honey, I bypassed the teller, honey. I was the personal banker. So, like, I done made it.
Yeah.
That's literally that is what.
You spent some years in big institutions, close to power and decision making. When you think back about those rooms now, what stands out to you about how things actually work?
Hmm. One of the big aha moments for me as I was like climbing the ladder was how you have to present yourself in order for you to get access or in order for them to take you seriously. I'll never forget, you know, a colleague of mine. She was just like, hey, before you go and meet this client, you need to have, you know, your pack ready. I'm like, pack ready? What are you talking about? Where's your Louboutin purse? You need to have, you know, I'm sorry, not Louboutin, but your lubes. You need to have like your Gucci, like you need to have some type of something on you because this lady is very posh and she's, you know, very whatever have you. And so she's going to look at you a certain way if you don't come in like you're supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, what? Like, and so again, I didn't know that this was even day. You know, I put on my good suit for that day and I thought, you know, I thought I was good, girl. She literally reached in her pocket, got me like a Chanel pen to put on, like literally fixed me up,
Mm-hmm.
switched my purse with hers. And I'm just like, really?
You had to give off some kind of aura. You had to get off a different aura.
I had to give off something different in order. And it did not matter that I was highly qualified. It did not matter that I'm managing 80 employees. Like I got, you know, 20 different managers as managers and directors of deployment. Like all of that stuff did not matter. It mattered to them that I needed to look presentable to the client because the client was this rich lady who did not have to work, but she was working. And that I needed to look a certain way in order for her to take me seriously in my work. And that was just like, this is nuts. And you know, there's always this treat that us as Black women, we have to be 10 times better, 10 times, like, you know, we have to be all of these things while our counterparts can just come in and be average. And that is enough for them. It was just very eye-opening for me. It really, really was. And so I think that carried and that stuck with me as well for a while until I had to deprogram myself and really understand who exactly I am. Who am I in these spaces? And who am I to the colleagues that I am managing and leading and mentoring as well? And I needed to be happy with whoever that person was. And I needed to be able to stand on business with whatever I decided that was what I was going to be. And that's what I ended up doing for me, which was like the best thing I could have ever done.
I was going to ask, how did that make you feel? But also, do you think that same message of like, this is how you have to show up was relayed to your colleagues of other ethnicities?
Oh, absolutely not. Because they was in there looking like plain Jane up in the office where I got it. So no, like it absolutely wasn't. And it absolutely was a thing. And it played out in different ways as well as we continued the relationship with that client. Played out in the work. It played out in who we were allowed to be on campaigns. Like it played all the way through. And nobody wanted to call a spade because that was the highest paid client. That was the client that was keeping the lights on. So like we all had to sit and swallow and take that. And so it did make me feel good. It did not make me feel good that, you know, the folks that were up underneath my tutelage, you know, after leaving a meeting with this woman, they in bathrooms crying and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I can't be the only person that is on the floor that is in some type of leadership like letting this be okay and me just keeping my mouth shut, keeping my head down, get along with the get along, don't run for no feathers, don't
Yeah.
look no shows, you know what I'm saying? Like be seen and not heard. And I'm like, I could not stomach that at all. And because I started speaking up and because I started like challenging the status quo, then 3 months later, I'm on a PIP because, they would throw a PIP on a Black woman in a real quick, like, oh, 2 months ago, you was the best thing since sliced bread. Now, all of a
Yeah. Because you're a
sudden,
little bit more vocal.
oh, I don't know if you're a cultural fit here. So that's how I was talking about, because I didn't know if I could fit into the culture. And since, leaving those spaces, like I understand now what a PIP is and how they use a PIP to marginalize and things of Black women and things of that nature to get them up out of there. Like that is a HR documented way, like, oh, you don't want them in here. You gotta make up something. So like, oh, it's a cultural fit. And we know what a cultural fit means and looks like. But at the time I did not know. And even when I got on it, it messed with my psyche. Like, you really, are you who you say? Like, are you really that girl? Like, because they just gave you this piece of paper and like, it takes you through a mind fuck. And I literally, like, when I left that situation, I took a sabbatical. I'm like, I'm not doing any more work in this space. I'm not doing any more work in agency. I'm not doing any of this anymore because I'm like, I came in here and did a job, had the most impact with my employees, but I still wasn't enough and I still didn't fit the culture enough. And I mean, I really had to fight myself and claw myself back into who I was of that damage from agency. And I was like, I will never let another person have me in that space questioning who I am, what I bring to the table, and the value that I bring, like ever again. And me, again, once again, my breakthroughs always come when I am forced to. Like sometimes, you are comfortable and doing whatever it is that you're doing, and God and told you to get up and move, and you disgusting.
Listen, I'm going through that right now. I'm in a
God
season of that.
said,
Yes.
God said voluntary or involuntary. Like, which one do you want? Because I done already told you. And every time it is involuntary, it opens up another portal and it opens up something else because I was never fit
Meant to be there
in that space in the first place.
There's so many Black women that are going through that right now, right? Just this year alone, we've seen like 300,000 Black women unemployed. And a lot of that is voluntary and involuntary, right?
Yeah.
So what's one piece of advice that you would give someone who's listening or watching that is like, Aniesia, you are speaking my life right now. I'm going through that right now. How were you able to get out of that mind space? And how were you able to pick yourself up and figure out what's next?
Yeah. So like I said, it was hard work. It was therapy. It was good girlfriends who really were able to validate, like, girl, like these people are like tripping. Like, no, this is not you. And it was inner work as well. So I had to, come out of this chasing the rat, trying to prove myself when I am already that. Like, I'm already that. Like it's almost like how, folks be like, oh, you try to make a man love you, like you try to do everything that you can do. You're doing all the things, just so he can say, okay, good thing. Like, I love you now because you've done all of these performance things. It is the exact same thing. The job. It is the exact same thing. And so it took a while for me to do that. And inside of that, it was, hey, Aniesia, like, do you have bandwidth to do blah, blah, blah? Like, are you taking any clients? Like, are you doing whatever have you? Which is how I built a whole nother agency that I did not plan on doing. Like, I never, like, this is the second time I have built an agency that I did not ask for, that I did not want to do, that I was not planning on doing. And this last one, I was able to split. So, it's always, in those things. And even where I am now is different than where I was 5 years ago. It was different from when I entered into COVID to where, I am now to where I sold it. So it's different, but it took a lot of hard work, therapy, inner work, and some really good girlfriends who can really put up a mirror to me like, girl, this is who you are. Like, forget
remind you.
Like, sometimes you need that, but that's how I was able to get out of that. And then inside of that, I really sat down and was like, what do you want to do? What do you don't want to do? You're not doing the things that you do not want to do anymore. I don't care if you can do it. Just because you can don't mean you should.
You should. Yeah.
And so that's how I was able to carve out another lane for AW Plus Co. Because I was like,
Wait, let's talk about that real quick. I want to talk about AW and Co for a second. Because, starting it was one kind of courage. Starting anything like requires courage, faith, and determination. But exiting it was another, right? So which one stretched you more?
oh, girl, I would say the exit.
Really? Okay.
Yes. Girl, listen, everybody wants to, sell something or what have you. And it's also too, like, this conundrum that we had as people of color is that if we sell or exit, like, oh, we done sold out and, oh, you done messed up the culture and everything. I'm like, who builds a business? Who builds a business and they don't want to, like, sometime exit or do work? I just want to do something else, right? So why do you have to be that? Because you decide that when you entered into it, like, I'm building this for this amount of time or what have you, and then I'm selling it. But even in the acquisition, there were so many things that I did not know that I should have asked for, that I should have advocated for, that I had no idea. And so, like, I'm trying to ask people, trying to get, context, what have you, because it was a service-based business. So you don't hear a lot about, or even people in our community that have exited service-based businesses, right? So you don't have like somewhere to like bounce it off. Like tech, that's a whole different thing. You got a whole bunch of people down the tech, right? But service, that's totally different. And so, going into it, I'm thinking that, I had my attorney look at it. Like, I'm thinking I'm crossing all my I's. I dotted all my T's. And then as it played out or what have you, like, when I tell you, I did this in 2023 when I exited. Girl, it is 2025. And I literally just got a notification about my last payment that's going to be in 2026 in June.
Wow. So it's a long process too. I think that's something people also underestimate.
Yes, I stayed
because
in that.
Oftentimes when people use the word exit, you never really hear what comes after the applause or after like the uproar. So like once that chapter closed for you and things got quiet, and maybe they didn't, but what surprised you most about that season outside of like, yo, I didn't get my last payment. It took us 3 years to get my last payment. What outside of that surprised you about this whole process? Because there are a lot of founders, like that's their goal. At the end of this, they want to get acquired. They want to sell. They want to do whatever. But they don't, like you said, we don't have a model or an example of someone specifically in service-based that has done it successfully and shared their journey.
Yeah. One of the things that I did is that I stayed working at the company like for over 1.5 years. And people will promise you the world and things of that nature. And if I've learned anything out of this acquisition is to document and get everything in writing. It's all good when it's all good until it ain't. And that was one of the lessons that I learned. I also did not do a background check on the people that was also acquiring me. Because again,
what you mean?
Girl. Because again, I'm thinking, people are honest and
you were too trusting.
It's like, I think that people are like me. And it's just a fact that everybody is not like me. Everybody's not honest. Everybody's not going to tell you the truth. Like, they're just not. And it's what's for them. And I didn't know this until I didn't figure out what was happening until I was 1 year in. Had no idea what was happening. And I won't mention the company's name or whatever. Y'all just going to have to go search yourself. But I will say that there was lawsuits that were happening. sexual harassment that was happening. Yes. And I'm thinking that the employees are being rude to me, because they just don't like, a Black woman to come in here and making them do what the hell they're supposed to do and holding them accountable, to which they had no boss and they were just doing whatever else they wanted to do. So that's why I'm thinking that they have an issue with me. Not that they like, oh, and it's been on things happening, and then when you come into the office, it's like, oh, that last talk to me like that. Oh, well, you wasn't saying that last night. I had no idea that was even happening, though. Okay, I am like oblivious. I'm like, listen, I'm in here to do the work, and I'm out. Like, listen, I dream of more than my business. You understand what I'm saying? So in that, and I'm glad that I'm like that, because that protected me, because when all the losses stuff like that, like I had no idea. Like I didn't know that I was the only one that was not laying down for change. Okay. Like I didn't know that.
Not laying down for change, girl.
I did not know that. Had I did research and had I did background, I would have known that it previously happened at another place that they were at. Again, lawsuits ensued, company got blown up, same leadership came to this, so I would have known these things of what I was going into, but oh, they Black, I'm Black, they trying to help a Black sister, and help me for the culture, and whatever have you, so people wouldn't do this to me. Because people wouldn't do this to me. I'm getting my equity, looking at their book, girl. Listen, looking at their books, not knowing that they literally only had a runway of 9 months, but having us to think like, oh, we got millions in the bank and da-da-da-da, we're already funded. Girl, all of those things. So again, it looked good on the outside. I got an acquisition. It was great. I was able to do some things that, a lot of Black women do not get to do. And now I have Dream Block, right? And so it was kind of like, I had to start Dream Block before I even advertised Dream Block, because I needed to have a vehicle to be able to put other things in, because I couldn't use AW Plus Code no more because it was no longer. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and thank God that I did that, because when all the shit hit the fan, all I did was press a button on Dream Block, and it was already operational and functional and had clients with it. Thank God. When that's it.
Yeah. Ooh.
So again, I'm grateful that I went through that process, because that should have never happened again. It could never happen again. And just how I am when I'm dating, what you show me on the front is great, but I want to see you in every season. I want to see all the things before I'm all the way into something and I am out here liable for some things that I don't even know. And so, that was the lesson for me. And I'll be honest, it be your own people. And I know that there's we need to, stick Black and buy Black and do all the other things, what have you. But the most harm I have had in my professional career has been by the hands of us, not by the white man, not by Karen, not by Sheila. And that is sad. That is so sad. But it is the honest truth for me. That's been my journey for me. That thank God in this new season where I am moving to and that I have been in for a couple of months, I do have some strong Black women that are true blue, that are I got you. They show me, they show up, and they stand in the gaps for me. And I'm glad that I have that. But I'm telling you, it has been a journey to find women of like line that is hey, just because you shining, that don't mean that I can't shine too. Just because you are over here, that don't mean that I can also thrive over here too. My success does not mean that now you can't be successful. That's not what that means. And so just being very intentional about who I do business with now, who I surround myself with, who I tell my business to as well.
That
Like,
part.
all of those things are important for me. So if you are a lady that is watching this and is like, sis, like, how do I rebuild? How do I regroup and things of that nature? Listen, I build in silence. So when I pop up, people like,
Yeah.
literally, because while y'all are still there, sister girl is already over here and I'm already somewhere else. And that's just how I move, because everybody that's clapping for you is not really happy for you. And hell, like, just in the vineyard, girl, just in the vineyard, just 6 months ago, girl. Like, listen, let me tell you something. Jane Block, this was our 5th year at the vineyard. This was the most money and the most events that we've ever done, ever. We did 17 events in the vineyard. We were
Oh
there
my
for
God.
the whole month. The most
Wow.
money I had made ever. And it was the most tumultuous time of my life.
Why?
And left out of there because, again, understanding that everybody has their own thing of why they are there and why they are in this space. And, people see the vineyard as like, oh, the next, thing. And like, I got to be there. And it's like, oh, the
Yeah.
FOMO and all this sort of stuff, whatever
Yeah.
have you. But I just found out that people just weren't there for me. They were there for them. And also trying to sabotage and as well, so that they thought that they could pick up my client. And the thing is, like, people know me and they know if this is a Dream Block production or not. Like, in no cap, like, you can tell if Aniesia has done this event or she's not. And that's just because I have worked my ass off for 20 fucking years, right? And so, like, you're gonna put respect on my name. And so, and I'm just like, girl, you really thought that you could come to a place that I thrive in, that they know me in, and thought that you were going to try to take something from me? Like, listen, my blessings are my blessings. Like, what are we talking about here? And so, again, just revelation. And also, too, like, Aniesia, you got to understand, everybody can't go with you. Where you're going next, everybody can't.
Yeah.
So the shedding of who can't go needed to happen. Again, volunteer or volunteer. Can't go. Cannot go. So, I just tell that lady, listen, like, get in your closet, okay? Get in your prayer closet.
Yes.
Get in your closet. Literally get in your closet. And I tell you, it may not come to you overnight, but over time, like, you will see where you need to move, how
Everything will
to
be
move.
revealed.
Everything will always be revealed. But even in that valley, it's like, God, I still trust you. Even the storm is raging. Okay. Listen, I'm on the water and I'm like, Lord, I'm looking. I don't know what's going on with this water down here. I don't know what's happening, but I'm here, even despite the storms, because they are going to come. And still being a good person, like, still being a good person, still understanding who to help. Because my assignment, that was the biggest thing this year. You are everybody's assignment. I did not assign you to everybody.
Yep.
Cannot be everything to everybody. And so understanding what my assignment is, who I'm assigned to, who I am not assigned to, girl, like, that got me first. Girl, that got me out of where I need to be because I was in my closet. You hear me? Like, this year was the most strongest I have ever felt God over me, in me, and through me, and working in and through me the way that he needed to be, because I was in my closet, girl. I didn't go to nobody else to try to, whatever have you. Like, even the people that, treated me horribly this year, people that took credit for my work, like, all of those things, I didn't, oh, that's not true. And I didn't do any of that. I'm like, Lord, you gonna fight. You fight my battle for me because I ain't got it. Let me tell you, I ain't got it.
I mean, I think that's just something, as when you go through this work and you've done this work for you, that's something you just have to do. You can't fight every battle. You have to leave it up to God, put it all in his hands, and he'll work it out. Because, every entrepreneur goes through a valley,
Yeah.
and it's about like how you get out of it and where you put your faith, not a man, because like you said, telling everything to everybody is not helpful.
Nope.
And
Nope.
you also have to be discerning around who you let around you, you allow into your business, and who you allow to offer that support, because
Yeah.
everyone does not have the best intentions.
They don't. They don't. And it's like, I'm hearing like multiple girlfriends that have like successful businesses. Like, girl, like I'm going through a legal battle right now. Girl, like I had to sue my partner. Girl, like literally. And I'm just like, what in the Michelle Obama is going on?
I mean, it's hard. It is hard. And, a lot of people go through, I mean, I've gone through stuff silently too. And I just don't share it because it's like, it's not for the world to like help me decide how to move.
No.
God's got it handled always. And it's
Always.
just as entrepreneurs, specifically Black women, I just don't know what it is. It's hard to, especially if you've gone through this business, like, or you've gone through building a business for a long time, you ultimately like lose trust on like who you can trust, who you can bring in, who can support you. But it's really important to, one, for me to have my faith, but also just to like be really discerning around who I bring into my business, who I let support me in this season, and whose like mission and vision is aligned with mine. The fact that you did that acquisition and you didn't know until you got in there, like, you're like, what the hell is going on? It's just a lesson, right? From God for you now, because now every time I go into something new, you have a checklist of things that you're going to do because you've lived through that experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so now, like, after that chapter closed and now you're moving into this like impact and venture work, what really started to matter to you in that phase of life? Because like you've gone through like that hard period multiple times, but even more so when you're stretched, when you're like exiting your business, what really became important to you in this next phase of your career path?
So I wanted to be the support that I needed for other
Makes
folks.
sense.
And I'm like, if I can stop somebody from having to struggle through that, then let me help. And so with Dream Wealth Camp, that's where that came about. I didn't take private equity money. I literally just had clients that had rocked with me for a long time. And so I had the money, so I didn't have to give up any equity or anything like that. Like it was all mine. But that's not the case for everybody else. And so I wanted to have a place that was, one, honest, two, that was truly helpful, and three, to be able to share resources and things like that with a group of people who really do need it, one. And number two, is ready to do something with it. Because, like sometimes like, people can give you all the things, but if you're not ready, like you can't do anything with it, right? And so that's the premise of Dream Wealth Camp, where we bring in growth stage founders and the VC community and angel community together over 2 days. And this is not somebody just preaching to you. It's no, get your laptop. We go onto the whiteboard. You're figuring out whatever it is that you need to figure out for this next quarter, for this next 2 quarters. Like you're figuring it out today. Like,
I love a whiteboard session.
Listen, like today. And that's what Dream World Camp is all about. And we bring in people that have done it, that have the receipts, and that do not gatekeep either. One of the big things that I always say as I look at speakers who come in and things like that, like, listen, I will give you access to these founders and to these other investors and things, but I have one rule: do no harm. Do no harm. If I hear about that you ghosted people, if I hear about like these founders are calling you, took their money, if I hear about it, like, you're going to have to come and see me, and then you're no longer welcome in my community. There are too many folks that are operating inside of the VC space, especially in the Black VC space, that don't have the credentials that they say, don't have the money that they say, don't have the financial backing that they say to even give you anything. So you're sitting here talking to people,
Wow.
giving them hopes, wishes, and pipe dreams. Come on, you're going to fund them. You're going to do all these, oh, I'm raising a fund. And you ain't never seen no funds being raised. I'm like, do
Nasty
y'all
word.
not understand? You can go on PitchBook, go to PitchBook, look up the actual company, and it shows you exactly what the investment is, how much they raised, the ramp. Like, it shows you that. Like, you
Aniesia, real quick. For those who don't know, what's a growth stage founder?
get so growth stage. Well, different people define growth stage at different stages,
Yeah.
right? So for me, it's you've had some type of investment or you've raised a certain amount or what have you. Typically anywhere between $1 million to 5 that you actually like, you're not trying to figure out like who your client is, all that stuff. Like you have a growing business, you have clients, you might have some employees, but that for us, that's growth stage for us. Like we want to be able to see you pass the accelerator stage, you pass the pitch competition, like you are past that because you have different
established.
Exactly. You are established because you have different issues and different things that you need at every level and stage of your business. You need different things and different people for them. It's not all the same. And so where I figure out where I thrive best is at the growth stage. Now, there are tons of pre-seed. There are tons of, programs that are for your tech stars and all the other stuff, what have you, to help people that have a vision or they trying to build an MVP or whatever have you. That is great. And that is wonderful for them, but that is not where I thrive. So where I can best be able to help folks is the established businesses. So that's growth stage for me.
And because you sit down with so many founders all the time now, what's something you yourself find yourself coming back to with them again and again when you're having these conversations?
Yes. LegalZoom is not going to get you where you need to be. You need to pay the money for an attorney to get your stuff in order because it's all good until it ain't. You can't hire all your homeboys because you just got this $5 million. So you about to hire all your homeboys. Now, if your homeboys are qualified to do the things that you need for them to do, sure. But just hiring somebody just because they believe in you or because they need a job, that is going to hurt you in the long run when you have to fire them. When you have to go back and, okay, well, what did you promise them? What did you say? Because, oh, by the way, you don't have no formal HR. Oh, by the way, you didn't give them no employee contract. You just enrolled them onto the payroll and like, we gonna do this because So that is the biggest thing is legal. Or you put all this money into something, it ain't trademarked to the first. You don't even own it. You don't be right. Like you don't even own this. And that's like the first thing that investors look at. Do you even own this IP that you're even talking about? And having issues with your co-founder about who owns what and who came in with what and things of that nature. So again, it still wraps all back into around competent legal that ain't LegalZoom.
So what is like your top, to build off of that, what is your top like 3 tips for folks that are coming to sit across from you at the table that are seeking investment or seeking like just a roadmap on how to sit in front of investors? And so I'm an entrepreneur. I'm like Aniesia. I'm trying to go after some funding. What's your first top 3 things that you're going to tell me?
1, who else like your product outside of your mama and your friends? If you do not have strangers that will pay for your tech product in beta, you need to go back and rethink that thing through. This is not if I build it, they will come. No, this ain't it. That ain't it. So that's 1. Number 2, knowing your numbers. What is your TAM? If you're asking me for $5 million, but in your pitch deck, you got 3 million going to marketing and operations. So what you're really telling me is that you don't know how to run the business with the resources that it is that you have. So you want my funding to help you to run your business. So know your numbers. And then number 3, what's the story and what is the why? And it can't be, oh, well, AI is a popping thing right now. You don't see it. So, I'm about to go get this money. And so we wrap the, like, what is your why? And then somebody asks you to create this thing. What's your why? What's your story? And is there really a need for these things? Because I see a lot of founders put a lot of work and resources and things that ain't nobody asked for. But those will be the 3 things. Know your numbers, your legal, and what is the story around why are you building this thing?
And on the other side of that question, what's something that you are still reminding yourself as you walk alongside other people's vision?
There's more than one way to skin a cat. Because I remember going through my things of, I had mentors telling me to do X, Y, and Z and stuff or whatever have you of what fit them. And so I always have to make sure that when I'm given some type of advice or if I'm sitting them down with people to give them advice, they're not giving them advice from their trauma. They're not giving them, advice from being scared so they won't do it. So you shouldn't do it either because I wouldn't do it. And so I just always just check myself and make sure that I am looking at it through this founder's lens and making sure that I am offering them sound advice that's not based on bias, that's not based on, trauma for someone that, yes, well, I tell you, like, here are the rules of the road or like, those lesson learned. Yes. But just making sure that it is authentic into that particular founder and for what it is that they're building and not letting bias come into whatever advice that I'm giving them.
Outside of knowing your numbers, having like legit legal representation and being able to answer the storytelling question, say I'm a founder that has all 3 of those things and I come to you, what's one piece of advice you would give a founder that's ready for investment that has all their ducks in a row? Especially because you've gone through it. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yep. And a lot of, I don't say that this is true in a lot of different things. A lot of times people do business with me because they like me. It don't like, there can be 20 different other companies that do the exact same thing, but because they like me, they will do business with me. It's the same thing with investors. If you come in acting like you know everything, you don't take, if they give you like a comment or if they make what happen, you're like, well, that will stop you from getting the money as well. So being able to be coachable, being flexible, and having the line between like really knowing your stuff and being cocky.
Love that. When you think about the long game, not just the work, but the way you've moved through rooms, what do you hope people feel after encountering you and working with you?
I hope that they feel that I took care of them. That even if we disagreed about a strategy or however way, what have you, it was all in because I want to make sure that you succeed and that you get the things that you need to get and not you're thinking around other things because I don't always live in the bubble and the clothes, the rosy glasses. And I'm like, hey, if this fails, then I got plan B, C, and D for you too. And sometimes not everybody wants to hear that because they just want to do whatever it is that they want to do.
Yeah.
And so if I push back, it's not because I don't want to do what you want to do. It's because I've seen it. I've experienced it. I have wore t-shirts for it. And I want to make the process, as easy as possible for you. And then the third thing is that I was honest, and I gave you what other people won't give you. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat you. I'm not going to lie to you. Like sometimes, like,
Yeah.
like, girl, this is horrible, but everybody around them is lying to them about it. Nobody will tell them the truth. Like,
Yeah.
that's just not going to be me. But like, you can take everything else. I told somebody the other day, I was like, listen, I'm a villain in somebody's story. And
We all are, though.
we all are. And listen, oh my God, you have to be comfortable with being the villain in somebody's story. You're not going to please everybody. You're not going to do everything right in everybody's eyes. Like, you may have been stressed out that day and it came over like you had an attitude. Like, all of those things are going to happen, right? But at the end of the day, for me, it's about integrity. It's about integrity, and it's about showing up and doing the work and doing what you said that you were going to do.
Exactly.
All those other things, we can work out. We can listen. I'll be the first, like, girl, I am sorry. I thought X, Y, and Z. My bad. Like, I am the first that I will apologize if it perceived that it was wrong or whatever have you, because I never want folks to do that, right? But you can't coach somebody out of being a liar. You can't coach somebody like, you can't, right? Like, come on out there. You can't coach, or like, they say they gonna do that, they promise you the sun and on the stars, and they still don't show up, or they show up at best. Like, you can't, some of those things you cannot teach.
Yeah.
And so my integrity, me showing up and me doing the work, like, you can say whatever you want to about me, but those three things like that about me,
Yeah.
you'll never be able to say about me. Like, nobody is going to outwork me, like, at no time in doing anything. And so I'll take that. I will sleep rest with that, and I will be the villain. But, honey, those three things right there, because that's integrity. That's integrity. And that's the God in me that works through me that won't let me do those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, because at any time, if you're ever in a room, because you know how, like, people say, like, you want $1 million, but you can't even handle this 500,000 because you don't know how to act. So how you going to act when you get this million? I'll never want you to question that about me when working with me, or anybody that's working with me, or touching anything that you're doing. But that's calling card. And that's always been how I have operated. And that's why I've had the longevity I've been able to have in multiple sectors, in multiple things. And when I ask people to show up for me, they show up, and that's my block. That is my block. Those true blue, folks that show up, that want authenticity in the things that we're building and the things that we're doing. And, you're not going to get that from everybody, but, like Suge might say, you want to build things, spend the dream.
That's all right, Aniesia, I'm going to ask you some quick fire questions.
Okay.
I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Big vision or small details?
Big vision.
Morning. You can't take that. No. Morning focus morning focus or evening energy?
You said what?
Morning focus or evening energy?
Ooh. Morning focus.
Text or voice note?
Ooh, a voice note.
You like a voice?
Girl, I do, because I can save them things and then go back and listen to it.
You can do the same thing with text messages. Aniesia, thank you so much for joining me today. Please let our listeners and viewers know where they can find you, follow you, and support you in the work that you're doing at Dream Block.
Absolutely. So during Wealth Camp, we have it twice a year. Do a South by Southwest in March, and then we do October doing DC Startup Tech Week as well. So applications will be hitting the streets in January for the growth stage founders. Everything is on our website at dreamblock.com. No K, just with the C. We also have merch to be a part of the block as well. And we are on social at Building the Block.
And where can they follow you personally?
Personally, I am Aniesia everywhere. LinkedIn, Twitter, Bill, Instagram. Do not come over to Facebook, because that's where my mom and them is at. And if you're not family, I do not welcome you into that space. But
And y'all, if you're going to hit her up, send her a DM or anything, make sure you come correct, as she clearly stated earlier in our conversation. Aniesia Williams, thank you so much for joining me today on How I Got Here.
I want to know, how did you get here? What was the road? Tell me a story, I want to hear. I see you shining bright like gold. I see you standing tall. I want to know it all. What did you have to do to get you through? Let me